just can't throw like the beliefs of how like court and due process is set up. Like we just can't throw it out the window because we believe or we want to believe that this person did do this and this person or that person is telling the truth. Like we have to go through the process to actually make sure that that innocent parties are innocent and that guilty parties are guilty. Like I just, because, and I just, I can't even. I'm so like frustrated. Like there's so many incidents that happened in like the past few years where stuff is just the thing that's very suspicious to me out of the whole thing is just the timing of it. It's like I understand like if you're a victim of something or if something happened, you decide when you feel comfortable talking about it or when you're gonna bring it up. But it seems like to me what I have observed is that whenever someone is under fire or they are in a certain situation where they're in trouble already, like another like usually it's a sexual assault allegation that will come up out of the blue. And my thing is like I feel like if you really want to success in that kind of, I guess in that particular kind of case, you're gonna have to get on it early. Like I don't think it's like I said again. I do believe that when you're ready to and you're comfortable to talk about it, that's when you should. If you wait years or even a year, because like with the Antonio Brown case and specifically, it happened in 2017 and 2018. Now there's a video of them together, so it shows that like they do know each other or that they were at least friends at some point, but that's it. But like you can't really prove sexual assault through that evidence. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're going to be, you're gonna have to come out with that like very like as soon as possible. You can't like a year or two is too long. So even with the Brett Kavanaugh case, like that happened to them in the 80s, like that's way too long to prove something. And I understand like those people want justice, but when you like that look at it from a logical like due process standpoint, like it's not as likely unless you have hard concrete evidence. Now I kind of feel like the video for Antonio Brown, it's I don't know. I mean, yeah, it just shows that they know each other. They were there. They could have possibly have been in a relationship with each other, but who knows? Like we need the court or police is going to say that you need more than that. So I don't know. Man. You just have to sit back and wait for more information to come out because that's how it works. That is how it works. This is very tough because this this also sets up leeway for victim blaming, because there are many cases where there are cases where it is true and people are just like, I don't know, just blow it away or blow it off. But I have read research that depending on like the officer or depending on what certain officer beliefs are, depends on how the investigation can go, especially towards sexual assaults. And sometimes people officers they'll ask like, what were you wearing, where were you doing, did you provoke this, and stuff like that happens. So there could be it could be a situation like that. It's very touchy because there are good points on both sides. I just want to present all the information, all the stuff that I'm aware of, and all the stuff that I know, and just try to apply my psychology background to this as much as possible. But I just don't like when people jump the gun, right? As much as fucked up as stuff can be, sometimes I feel like people their natural instinct is to try to get justice, but we have to remain level-headed. Like if we were just a society that just always like came after people based off of something we heard, like a lot of people would be hurt, a lot of people would be dead. So we just have to chill out. Now, somehow if it comes out that well, let's say if the Patriots do play Antonio Brown, they're gonna come up with some shit about how the Patriots were cheating. They knew about this stuff. They overlooked it. They just wanted to get a good player. And I bet you some shit is gonna somehow this is gonna come back on the Patriots because people don't like the Patriots. Maybe it was just because he went to the Patriots. Like this is what I mean by like the timing of this, man. Because there was an incident. If you guys remember that incident back in 2018, I guess towards like October, November, where some anonymous person was delivering packages to like political figures or political influencers or people in Congress or there's someone involved in politics, and all those packages are going around. And I was in a Lyft one day, and my driver was listening to some radio station, and they were talking about it. And I was like, well, I find it pretty convenient that this is happening right now, because it was around the time where governor elections were coming up. And in my state, we had Stacey Abrams and Brian Kemp running against each other. And it was around that time, and I was like, I find it pretty convenient that this is happening right now. And then my driver goes, well, when is the perfect time for this? Like, was it like Christmas? Was it like September? And I was like, a good point, but I think your question is my point exactly. Like, the time to do it is now. That there's premeditated things for stuff to happen. It's like, oh, we're not going to do it right now. We're going to do it later when this happens. And then of course you have the people that are like, oh, we gotta can't let this distract us from what's really going on. And honestly, I think that's what it is. It was like a distraction to take people's attention away from the governor's race. So like this, like perfect timing, like nothing came up when he was in Pittsburgh stirring up trouble. Nothing came up when he was in Oakland stirring up trouble. When he comes to Massachusetts, when he comes to Foxborough, when he comes to the New England Patriots, then this allegation just surfaces out of nowhere. I mean, this dude, Antonio Brown, he lost his deal with the helmet company. Not too long ago, Zenith, I think it's called. There's a helmet company or helmet manufacturing company called Zenith or Zenith. And yeah, they dropped a deal with him, and I'm like, that shit is so fake, because honestly, when stuff like this happens, not even just with sexual assault allegations, but whenever time someone comes up in the media and it's not good, if they had a deal with somebody or whatever they had in the making, that specific company or brand will drop them. And it's not even because they want to show that they have zero tolerance against that stuff. It's just so they can protect their own image. It's like, oh, if we continue to work with this guy, then people are not going to buy our stuff. It's all about money, really. Like, let's be honest here. People don't give a fuck, honestly. Like, people were like with the whole I don't know. There's so much stuff you can think back in the past few years where this happened. It's like, oh, we're gonna take your stuff off the shelves, or we're gonna cancel the deal, and it's just like, yeah, you really don't care, dude. Like, you know what? Better yet, let's say, Pride Month. Pride Month was it? I'm sorry, people. Of that group. I forgot what Pride Month was. Was it June, July? I don't know. I'm sorry, guys. But whenever Pride Month was here, all these companies had stuff about, pride and strong and, stuff that represented and supported the LGBTQIA community. And after that month was over, that shit was off the shelves, fam. You didn't see that no more. And it's just like, yeah, people just do shit for profit, bro. People don't really support or stand for anything. They just go wherever they know people are going to spend their money. And that's something else to take into consideration too. So I'm going to leave you guys on that note, give you something to think about. Thanks for listening. Again, I am your host, Denzel. You have been listening to A Break from Reality. If there's anything you would like for me to talk about, is there anything you would like to hear on the show, or anything you would like to talk to me about, just email me at breakfromrealitypodcast@gmail.com. Alright, people. Take care of each other.